Good morning. My name is Stella Natufe, and I work for the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop webinar series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops here at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. I want to inform you that business licenses can be processed online by visiting www.chicagobusinessdirect.org. All BACP offices are open to the public. Please be advised that masks are required in all BACP facilities and 6 feet of social distancing must be maintained at all times. While our offices are open to the public, we continue to strongly discourage in-person visits. Please visit chicago.gov/BACP for more information. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn more about this program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. To help guide your businesses and employees during Chicago's reopening process, please visit chicago.gov/reopening. Also, BACP and the City of Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications created Shy Biz Emergency Alerts. You can opt in to receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community if you are interested. Please visit chicago.gov/Shy Biz Alerts. We'd like to encourage all of our attendees today to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. Today's webinar is entitled How to Obtain a Mobile Food Dispensary Preparer License, presented by the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. At this time, I will now turn this webinar over to Ms. BJ for us to begin.
For attending the workshop that we are providing today on how to obtain a mobile food dispenser preparer license. Back in July of 2012, the Chicago City Council passed an ordinance to expand food truck operations in the city of Chicago while maintaining superior health standards. So that's what we are going to go over today with you. My colleague from the Chicago Department of Public Health will also be joining us today to not only make a portion of the presentation, but answer questions at the end as well. However, I just want to, before we get started with everything, I want to talk about the definition of mobile food vehicles that are allowed to operate in the city of Chicago. A motorized vehicle registered as a commercial vehicle shall not be used for any purposes other than a mobile food dispenser or a mobile food preparer. I want to interject something. The city of Chicago at this time do not license trailers of any kind at this time. So if you are interested in operating from a trailer in the city of Chicago, we do not license that activity. So I just want to be very clear, because sometimes people may get the impression, oh, it's mobile. Oh, no, no trailers. We can't have something that's attached to the back of a truck. We do not license those vehicles. So let's start with a mobile food dispenser definition. What's a mobile food dispenser? A mobile food dispenser is anyone who's traveling from place to place upon the public ways in a mobile food vehicle. They're serving individual portions of food that are totally enclosed in a wrapper or a container of some sort. that actually have been wrapped, prepared, or manufactured at a licensed food establishment. And that could be a shared kitchen, that could be one of the other food dispensers throughout the city of Chicago. Also, your food must undergo a final preparation step prior to serving the consumer. So you can't bring food onto this dispenser truck and start to add any condiments or anything of that nature. That application is $700 for a 2-year license. Our next mobile food preparer vehicle license is a mobile food preparer. Now, that license allows you to actually travel from place to place, preparing and serving food from the mobile vehicle. Now, that license is $1,000 for a 2-year license. Also, what we offer a mobile food assessment. So after you come in to the department and you've made the decision, oh, I would like a mobile food dispenser, or oh, I would like a mobile food preparer. Then we provide a mobile food vehicle assessment that is actually free. It's a free service provided to mobile food business license applicants. And the assessment is conducted by inspectors from the Chicago Department of Public Health, as well as the Chicago Fire Department. The applicant is actually provided with a checklist. So you will know all of anything, any deficiencies that need to be addressed prior to your going full-fledged ahead out on the streets of Chicago to operate your mobile food vehicle. So what is a license application requirement? So our license application requirement are in person. You would come into the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. We're located at City Hall, 121 North LaSalle Street, room 800. And you would come in with a business information sheet, and we would need all of your personal information as well as how you are going to operate your mobile food vehicle. We also will need a government issued photo ID. And depending on how you're going to operate this truck, whether it's going to be a corporation, a limited liability company, a general partnership, or a sole proprietor, certain numbers that would go along with those legal entities would be required. For instance, your federal employer identification number, your state of Illinois file number, those are the numbers that you will need in order to complete your business information sheet and for us to generate a business license application. The other thing that we will need and for you to think about as you're moving forward, we will need a certificate of commercial general liability insurance. So any applicant that's using natural gas or propane tank in their mobile food vehicle, you will need to provide us with evidence of a certificate of commercial general liability insurance of not less than $350,000 per occurrence. So those are just some of the things that initially will be required for a license application. For both licenses, we must have the vehicle to operate in conjunction with a licensed commercial commissary. And that commissary is the place where you would prepare your food, you would store your food, you would truck you would service your truck, emptying any kind of grease water, anything like that. Or also you could have a retail food license or equivalent. The shared kitchen, with all of our mobile food vehicle applicants, we require that you must obtain, if you are not operating from a retail food establishment, a shared kitchen user license. And it must be obtained along with your mobile food vehicle. We do waive the fee for the shared kitchen license, but you must meet all of the health department requirements for that. Also, for our mobile food dispenser category, you must show us that your commissary, for instance, has been approved for any kind of off-street parking, for the servicing and loading and unloading of your truck, as well as you may need a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate, depending on the operations, which Ms. Nelson can talk about further. For our mobile food preparer licensees, you must use a servicing commissary that has been pre-approved by the Chicago Department of Public Health. You must have that, as well as a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate that is required because of time and temperature controls for the safety of food handled on your vehicle. Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Anna Nelson from the Chicago Department of Public Health.
Thank you, BJ. Once again, I'm Anna Nelson. I'm one of the supervising sanitarians with the health department. I'm currently stationed at BACP with the business consultants. I have a desk there to work as the liaison with licensing help and also to do the full plan reviews for all mobile food and shared kitchens. So I'm happy to walk you through what the health consultation is like for mobile food, the inspection process, and then certain criteria that the commissary has to have. We're diving into the health consultation. This is the meat and potatoes of the mobile food licensing process. We need a lot of documentation about your truck to review and approve before we send you to that final inspection, just to confirm that your truck meets all of the rules from Chicago. So once you begin the application process with a business consultant, you will then be channeled to me, and we will sit together and go over your paperwork. So I have a short general list here for the health consultation review that covers kind of the basics of what I'm going to be requesting from you. Overall, for like mobile food, we're talking dozens of pages of supporting documents that's going to go with your truck that I need from you. So this includes things like your menu. I want to know the type of food you're doing, any beverages you're doing. I need the blueprints or plans of the mobile food vehicle. This includes like a top view. It includes the side views. I need to know where everything is placed on the truck. I also need specification sheets for all the equipment. So for this, I'm looking for each individual piece of equipment should have a corresponding spec sheet from the manufacturer that tells me things like the model number, the size, that it's rated for commercial use, things like that. So that includes cooking equipment, your refrigerators, the water tanks on the truck, basically anything that you're using mechanically on board. Beyond that, food trucks do need to provide proof of licensed pest control service. So I would be asking for a pest control report that specifically lets me know that the truck has been inspected for pests. I need several photos of the truck, both interior and exterior. There's a lot of different features on the truck that I need to confirm are present. For example, like a grease trap or that the water filling valve is protected. There's multiple things that I would itemize for you during that consultation based on what type of truck you have. I need some supporting letters. For example, I need a letter of intent if the operator is going to be using a shared kitchen. That confirms for me that you have a valid commissary agreement that you plan to work with. For applicants who are located outside of Chicago, We have a little bit different rules for the inspection reports. You can use a restaurant or commissary outside of the city, provided it's close enough to be used, for your Chicago activities. But you do need to provide inspection reports from those commissaries dated within the last 90 days. So we require a very recent inspection from those external locations for service. If you are using a commissary located outside of Chicago, you will need to demonstrate that that commissary meets all of the Chicago rules and regulations. We'll get into that in one of our further slides, but you would have to provide floor plans and business licenses and probably photos just to show me that the commissary that you're using outside of the city is equivalent to what you would be using in the city. Then beyond, can you go back, please? Okay, the last point here is for the Chicago Fire Department. They work in tandem with us for their own review. They have their own separate application where they want to know about your propane, natural gas, generator, fire suppression, all the things that go with fire safety. So there's a separate application we can give you for that. You'd let them know those different fire-related features of the truck so that they could review and approve you as well. And that would be working kind of hand in hand with me, like kind of parallel processes, the health review and the fire review. For inspections, aside from the free assessment we do once you've made an application, and that's just kind of our freebie to you to get some people on your truck to give you some real feedback. But we won't inspect your truck again until the health consultation is complete and you've paid the full license fee. So once that is done, your health consultation looks good and the payment is made, then the health supervisor will schedule you on our calendar to do both your final health and fire inspections. These are done at the same time. Health and fire do the truck at the same time. At our health department headquarters, we're over here by the medical district at 2133 West Lexington. So you would bring your truck to us, and then both inspecting bodies would do their final inspection. Once you do get a license, just like any restaurant or other food establishment, you are subject to routine inspections. For example, if we see you operating on the field, we can inspect you. If we get a complaint on your vehicle, we could inspect you. This also includes fire safety. Fire has a right to also do routine inspections on the truck to ensure that you're operating as planned. Regarding renewals, we do require that mobile food vehicles are inspected in order to get the renewal. So once you get your renewal notice, you'll pay the renewal fee, but then you need to reach out to health to schedule your license renewal inspection. During this time, I would request several updated documents from you just to confirm everything is current with the vehicle. For example, your updated insurance card, registration, a new letter of intent from your shared kitchen just to confirm you have a contract with them. And once I have that paperwork, we'll get you on the schedule. Health and fire will do their thing. Once those inspections are passed, then we would issue that renewed license. Regarding the commissary, this is a key piece to the food truck license, especially for mobile food preparers, in terms of the water tanks and the water system on the truck. So specifically to mobile food preparers, you have the 3-compartment sink and the hand sink. So you're going to have a freshwater tank and then a wastewater tank, and you need to handle these appropriately for filling and draining. In Chicago, we require that where you are doing that water servicing, so inputting the fresh water, releasing that wastewater, that needs to be an area with overhead protection or a fixed structure with floors, walls, and ceilings. So that you can visualize is either like a covered loading dock area that's attached to the commissary or a type of garage fixture. And the key is that this is on site at your commissary. This commissary needs to be a food establishment. It cannot be a RV servicing station. It cannot be a gas station. It cannot be a campground. It has to be a licensed food service establishment to qualify. Beyond that, it needs to meet our rules and regs. So the floors, walls, ceilings are smooth, non-absorbent, and good repair, clean and graded properly to collect the drain water into that drain basin. There needs to be a valid freshwater source. So we're talking a a safe faucet fixture that's designated for fresh water only. This should have a backflow prevention on it. It should have a food grade hose. And then the storage of that hose should be something that protects the hose from being contaminated when not in use. The liquid waste and freshwater drains both need to be drained by gravity into a floor drain that's properly trapped and vented. And if you use a hose to route it to a floor drain, that also needs to be properly trapped and vented. The commissary has some written rules. They need to maintain a log that includes the name of the mobile food truck licensee, the name of the mobile food truck business, and the date of service and the time the servicing began. So whenever trucks are coming in to use the commissary, there should be a record of the date and time that they came in to do that. Next, we will get into the Chicago Fire Department criteria. We'll start with the fire safety permit and safety class, the fire suppression system, and then their on-site inspection and permit issuance. Fire safety permits are required by the fire department if a vehicle is using a gasoline, diesel, or electric generator, if the vehicle is using propane or compressed natural gas, or if the vehicle has a type 2 exhaust hood or fire suppression system. These are all different qualities of the truck that the fire department needs to regulate and require you to obtain their fire safety permit. This is a photo ID card that belongs with the person who's operating the vehicle. So in order to start this process, they have their fire safety permit application, which is something that we provide with you with the rest of the fire department documents. They do charge $100 for the application fee, and their badge is also a 2-year permit. And they do a digital photo of you once you complete the class with them. You would go to their office and be photographed, and they would print you a digital card to keep with you on the vehicle. Right, regarding the fire safety class, once again, this pertains to people who have gasoline, diesel, or electric generators, or are using propane or compressed natural gas on the MFV. This class, we sign you up for this. You can go either through myself or your business consultant after you pass the truck license inspection with fire. Fire wants to ensure that your truck is fully functional and legal before they have you take this class. So this is one of the very last things you'll do in the application process is take their class and get this permit. This class must be retaken every time the fire safety permit is renewed. So whoever that is on your truck would need to come and sit for the class and get a brand new safety permit every 2 years with the truck renewal process. The classes are held at the Fire Prevention Office downtown, 444 North Dearborn on the 2nd floor. They are always on Thursdays at 9 a.m. And their rule here is that any owner or operator who does not get a fire safety permit within 6 months of their original class will need to repeat the class. To prepare for this class, you need to bring your valid driver's license, state ID, or another government issued photo ID. And they're requesting that you bring a combustible gas detector to learn how to properly check for leaks in the vehicle. For a fire suppression system, so this is related more to the mobile food preparer. When people have a cook line with cooking equipment that needs to be properly vented, or if there's different types of combustible things, for example, like a gas fryer, where you need to have a fire suppression system over it to release and put out a fire in case one did occur. Once again, this is based on the type of equipment you have on your truck. Not all trucks will have a fire suppression system, but for those that do, the fire department needs copies of your plan, and they need to approve the way that it's set up and installed. The 3 main fire suppression categories are water, inert gases, or various chemical agents, and you must have an appropriate fire extinguisher on board the truck. In order to have your plans reviewed, you would use that fire safety application that we provided to you. The company that designed and installed the fire suppression system must submit the detailed plans to the fire department, once again at 444 North Dearborn, 2nd floor. And this has a fee of $150 via check or money order payable to the City of Chicago for the plan review. All right, so for the Chicago Fire Department inspection, once again, these are conducted in tandem with the health department inspections at our health department location on Lexington. These are scheduled through me. Even if you don't need a health inspection, but you do need a fire inspection, that would still come through the health supervisor. We would get you on the calendar to have them meet you here for that. The Chicago Fire Department also inspects during the renewal process. And so we would schedule you for both for renewals and brand new licenses. Once the truck has passed the on-site inspection with fire department, they have taken the fire safety class if needed based on their truck setup and all of the fees have been paid, then they would issue you that fire safety permit, which is that photo ID card that the operator would have. Next, we'll get into just kind of the minimum requirements for mobile food vehicles. The vehicle needs to be enclosed with a top and sides. Specific to the mobile food dispenser, this is the all prepackaged food items. This type of truck, if you're doing only prepackaged, you do not necessarily need a hand sink. For example, like an ice cream truck with only prepackaged ice creams where there's no scooping or pouring of anything. It's just simply handing somebody something in a package. These types of trucks do not need hand sinks. They do not need dishwashing. However, if you are the type of mobile food dispenser that has a final prep step, you would need to have a hand sink. So the mobile food dispenser, once again, for all prepackaged, it depends based on how you're operating, whether or not you need to have any type of sinks on board. After that, the mobile food preparer, this is the type of truck where you're actually handling open foods, you're cooking, you're assembling plates, you might have, a flat top grill, things like that. You're actually preparing food on the truck. These types of trucks must have a hand washing sink and a 3-compartment sink. You have to be able to wash your hands and wash your utensils on the truck. Going with this, if you do have these sinks on the truck, you have to have hot and cold water under pressure. And then if you do have these tanks, both the freshwater tank and the wastewater tank need to be self-draining. They should have their own independent drain lines and then drain through gravity without having to run through any other system of the truck. So this is kind of a key difference in Chicago that I think is important for people to be aware of, because it is an important structural thing to have that freshwater tank have its own independent drain line, just like the wastewater does. Along with that, the wastewater retention tank must be at least 50% larger than the freshwater tank. So the waste tank should be bigger than the freshwater tank. Beyond this, regarding all trucks, screens are required on all doors and windows that open into the prep area. So for example, the service window, or if there's any ceiling vents or any other, the back door, all of those things need to have a screen to prevent the entrance of flying insects. You must have equipment on the truck to support your menu, whether that's cold holding, hot holding, or both. So we're talking mechanical refrigeration or mechanical hot holding. So coolers, steam tables, etc. And then after that, you need to have the business name and license number printed on each lateral side of the truck in at least 2-inch font so that it's clearly visible to anybody approaching the truck. Next slide, please. All right, a continuation of our mobile food requirements. The mobile food vehicle should have a tight, non-absorbent, washable receptacle for refuse. There we go, trash can, a fancy name for a trash can. It should be adjacent to, but not necessarily like a built-in part of the mobile food vehicle, so that anybody consuming food in your truck has a waste basket for it. The mobile food vehicle should not be used for any other purpose besides the mobile food dispenser or preparer, whichever license you had. The mobile food vehicle should be registered as a commercial vehicle, and anybody who operates the vehicle should have a valid driver's license issued by the state of Illinois or another state, district, territory of the United States. The mobile food vehicle should be inspected and maintained by a licensed professional, including mechanics, and if applicable, by professionals who install and maintain fire prevention equipment and propane tanks as often as necessary, but not less than every 90 days, and copies of the last 4 maintenance reports must be kept in the vehicle at all times while the vehicle is in use. So this is a little more toward fire specific, but the truck should be monitored and inspected. Like I said, every 90 days for the propane, and records need to be kept. So if the fire department did stop you or ask you for an inspection, you'd be able to show them that you were absolutely current on these things. Regarding propane, if propane is being used on the vehicle, there should be no more than 40 pounds of propane in the vehicle at any time. It doesn't matter if it's 1 tank or 2 tanks or whatever it is, 40 pounds is the absolute max that you can have on board. And this is verified by the fire department when you apply for your permit. And then once again, all necessary control measures to effectively minimize and eliminate presence of rodents, flies, roaches, and other vermin. So that's our general pest control, sealing all the cracks and flaws in the truck, and making sure you have those screens in place. All right, I'll hand it back to BJ. She can talk about the license issuance process.
Thanks, Anna. Great. So when we look at the issuance of the license for the mobile food vehicles, you must pass all required health and fire inspections. And in order for a license certificate and decal to be processed, you may not. So for instance, you may go over to Lexington and they will say, oh, everything looks good. And you think, oh, okay, well, let me go and start now. No, you may not conduct business until the decal and the certificate is issued. Any city debt must be resolved prior to the issuance or renewal or changes of any business license. So if there is any outstanding city debt, parking tickets, any outstanding debt, that will prevent the issuance of your license. Next, please. No food that is sold or served from a mobile food vehicle may be stored or prepared in your home. It must be prepared and stored at all time in a licensed shared kitchen / commissary. You must work in conjunction with your commissary or shared kitchen to store the food and prepare it properly. You should move, all vehicles should move from place to place upon the public ways as not to be operated at a fixed location for more than 4 hours, or the maximum permitted there for parking, whichever is lesser. So for instance, if you're in a situation, you're servicing clients and they're walking up to the truck and you're at your 4-hour max, you need to finish servicing the people in line and then move on. No vehicle shall park or stand within 200 feet of any restaurant entrance that's located on street level except after midnight, between the hours of midnight and 2 a.m. And you're not allowed, if you have a mobile food vehicle, you're not allowed on any privately owned vacant lots unless you have written permission from the property owner and it has been reviewed by myself or one of my team members at the City of Chicago Office Business Assistance Center. Also, you can operate, next slide please, you can operate on that private property, but it must meet the applicable requirements of the zoning ordinance. And so the person who may own the private property, you as the mobile food vehicle owner and the owner of the private property need to make sure, you need to check with the zoning department to make sure that you in fact can conduct that activity on their property. Also, the operation of your truck can begin as early as 5 a.m. until 2 a.m. unless there is special designation allowed by a mobile food vehicle stand. Again, we cannot emphasize the importance of fire safety. So if you're in continual compliance with the fire department using your propane or natural gas system, fire suppression hood, generator, you must uphold the terms of your mobile food vehicle's fire safety permit. Next, please. The food stands. There are designated food truck only parking zones throughout the city where licensed mobile food vehicles may be operated during the posted times. Again, you cannot exceed the 4-hour service limit. So if you're there for 4 hours and you started at 8, well, you know at noon you need to go and identify another location. And also, as part of your license privilege, there is no fee for the truck to park at the food stand. And the food stand locations were selected through a collaborative effort with the aldermen throughout the city, the Department of Transportation, as well as neighborhood business communities. Let's talk about the GPS requirements. All mobile food vehicles must be equipped with an operational global positioning system or GPS device. Your device must meet the requirements that are set forth in Section 738.115 of the Municipal Code of the City of Chicago, as well as it must be permanently installed. It cannot be something you use in your car one day and then you put it on the mobile food vehicle. It must be actually permanently installed on that vehicle. It must be active whenever the vehicle is in operation. The device is not required to send location data directly to the city, but we need the real-time location data. It must be accurate, no less than 95% of the time. It must function while your vehicle is actually vending food or open for business to the public. And when your vehicle is being serviced at the commissary, that is also another requirement from that same section of the municipal code, only Section 138. The device must function during these times, regardless of whether the engine is on or off. It must function. And when that GPS is required to function, the device can transmit and it with the GPS coordinates to the service provider every 5 minutes, not every hour, but every 5 minutes. Next slide, please. City personnel will not request location information from a GPS service provider unless the information is sought to investigate a complaint of unsanitary or unsafe conditions, practices, or food or products at the mobile food vehicle. Also, we use this information to investigate any food-related threat to public health. So it's just incumbent on you as a mobile food vehicle operator to make sure that you are in compliance with all of the health and fire department standards. The information is also sought in connection with establishing compliance with Chapter 738 of the Municipal Code, as well as the regulations stated in the aforementioned code. And It's also sought for purposes of emergency preparation or response. The city has obtained a warrant or other court authorization to obtain the information, as well as we have received permission from the licensee, that's you, to obtain the information. Next slide, please. The provider, the GPS provider, must maintain at least 6 months of historical location information and may be able to provide the following. When requested, as per the regulation stated of the GPS requirement, any kind of transmitted position, including when you arrived, how long you were there, the duration, the address, all of this information, the current location of the vehicle, and the provider must respond immediately with that information that we have requested. Also, any reports that provide anonymous information regarding the mobile food vehicle operation within the city and do not identify specific mobile food vehicles. An application programming interface, an API that it's called, is also available to the general public. We must have this information from the GPS provider. Next slide, please. Other GPS provision, if the city establishes a website for displaying the real-time location of vehicles, we would like, the purpose of us asking for all of this information on the GPS is to a purpose of marketing and promotional efforts. The licensee may choose to provide the appropriate access information to the API of its GPS to enable the posting of the vehicle's location on the website. And you're not required to provide this information or otherwise allow the city to display the location, but it could be a wonderful marketing opportunity for you. Also, the following will serve as evidence that the GPS requirements have been met. You'll complete, at the time of application, you are presented with, amongst the forms you are presented with, a GPS affidavit form. And we will need proof of the installation of the GPS, as well as proof from the GPS tracking device service provider that the operator is in fact in compliance with the requirements stated in Rule 8 of the Mobile Food Vehicle Rules and Regulations. Next slide, please. So just some additional information. We look at, we have the mobile food truck licensing webpage, and we have basically most of the information that Ms. Nelson and myself have gone over with you today on our website. So you can definitely take a look at that. It has the ordinance, the Chicago Food Code, the Mobile Food Vehicle Rules and Regulations, a business information sheet, samples of our certificate of insurance requirements, the food stand map, the fact sheet also of the mobile food vehicle, mobile food dispenser, as well as the mobile food preparer information sheet and checklist, as well as the fire safety permit, class information and consultation package. And there are two ways, next slide please. There are two ways in which you can apply. And now we are taking applications in person at the Small Business Center at City Hall, room 800. City Hall is 121 North LaSalle. We're there from 8:30 to 4 every day in room 800. Or of course, you can certainly start online and complete as much as you can online at our Small Business Center homepage and just go with apply for a business license. And we do take, as I stated, applications in person from 8:30 to actually 3:30, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. And it is recommended that you come in for an in-person consultation. That is just recommended because there are often questions that, yes, you can apply online, but sometimes there are additional questions or concerns you may have, and we can always provide additional information when you, in fact, come into the center. Thank you very, very much for your attention to this presentation today. And I'm going to turn it over to Stella so she can let us know if there are any questions in the chat that Ms. Nelson or myself can answer. Again, thank you for your attention and attending this webinar on how to obtain a mobile food license in the city of Chicago, and make it a great day and stay safe.
All right, BJ, we do have some questions. First question, is there any approved food truck manufacturers that BACP recommends?
I can take that one. No, unfortunately, we do not have a list of people who build food trucks, nor would we be able to recommend any, just as in terms of the regulators.
Okay, we do have some. That was in the chat box. Let me move around to the Q&A box. Is there a simple checklist for the necessary licenses?
Oh, yes. Oops. Yeah, yes, there is a checklist. It depends on which license you're going for. The dispenser, we have a checklist, as well as the preparer. And that is on our website, or of course, if you in fact come into the department, we can provide that information.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in for that. We have our, I believe BJ is referencing our fact sheets. That walks you through the process and lists a lot of the paperwork requirements for either the mobile food dispenser or the mobile food preparer. Food trucks, they tend to vary a lot in terms of what types of features they have and how they're operating. So there isn't really a one size fits all checklist that would cover everything. But if you come in for a consultation with me at City Hall and kind of disclose your business plan, I am more than happy to kind of generate a custom checklist for you that will help guide you through what you need to provide me for the whole consultation process.
Okay, we have more questions. At the outset, you discussed trailers are not licensed. What does that look like for clarity?
Well, a trailer, number one, is not a truck. It's something that can be possibly attached to a truck. It's not motorized normally. It's something that would just stand, be a standalone. When we say mobile food vehicles or mobile food dispenser or preparer, when we define that, we're talking about a registered commercial vehicle that's motorized with wheels that would travel from place to place. A trailer is not something that would travel from place to place. And if Anna, if you want to jump in and add anything additional to that.
Yeah, sure. So I think the truck just needs to be self-driving, as BJ mentioned. And I want to add that you cannot tow anything with your truck. So, for example, if you did have a self-driving truck that had the mechanical engine all in one unit with the food prep space, you cannot tow any extra equipment with the truck. Everything has to be completely on board the truck itself. So, a common example of that would be like towing like a barbecue grill. You could not tow anything, including like a barbecue grill, behind your mobile food truck.
This was very intense. Is there a one page or infographic available?
I think the most appropriate thing to look at is probably our fact sheets, and those are about 4 pages. You're absolutely right. This is a ton of information to cover, and it is a very involved application process. And it's very hard to condense this into like 1 page of everything you'd need. But I think the best we can do is give you our 4-page fact sheets for either the dispenser or the preparer license.
Okay, let me switch back over. I see questions are coming into the chat right now. One second. And saying this was an awesome presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a process or checklist to transfer a food truck? Because the questions are coming in, so it's making it move. 1 second. Let's start over. Is there a process or checklist to transfer a food truck to another mobile food dispenser, such as when the previous owner wants to close or sell their business?
They would need to start over. There isn't a process by which you would transfer one license to another because, for instance, maybe that initial owner possibly made some kind of addition to the truck. And because this is a mobile food dispenser or preparer license, we want to make sure that every T is crossed and I is dotted. So that's why we ask everyone to start the process all over again. I mean, the good thing is, yes, especially if it's been a licensed mobile vehicle in the city of Chicago, at least probably that previous owner can provide some information, but we will need to go through the process all over again with the new owner.
If the food truck is currently being built, can we start up our application for the license, or do we have to wait until it's complete?
You can begin the license application. I always suggest that when you begin the license application, that you definitely sit down and have an opportunity to have a consultation with Ms. Nelson. As you heard from her presentation, she's a wealth of information and can really provide appropriate guidance. And because of her experience with so many different types of trucks, she can also possibly look at where you are and how you are developing this new truck or having this new truck built to say, hey, you may want to look for this or that. Anna, would you like to chime in also on this question?
Sure. I'm happy to talk food trucks with you at any stage of your process, whether you're thinking to buy one, or you've bought one, or you're building one. I'm more than happy to talk kind of through requirements. I'd want to point out that we kind of have 3 different things of literature that cover food truck requirements or mobile food requirements. The ordinance has several pieces of information that talk about how your truck needs to be built and constructed and operated. We have the mobile food rules and regulations, which has even more details about the truck, fire safety, the commissary GPS, and the general City of Chicago food code that covers all food service in Chicago applies to your truck. So all three of those things, we're happy to get you those documents into your hand digitally, or even print a couple copies of them, just so you have that information at hand before you build a truck or buy a truck to see what we're going to be looking for. And I can throw my email into the chat box. I'm happy to see pictures of your truck or discuss your plan or your commissary, or just, you know, go kind of troubleshoot anything at any stage of your application process.
Thanks, Anna.
Do you have a link to the Alderman accepted food stations? Food truck locations? Can you speak more about the zone areas?
I don't know if there's a link. There is the information that's on our website. So you can go to our website, and that information is in fact on the website. When you speak about zoning, in the on the website, and all of the stands that have been approved by the Chicago Department of Transportation, they've actually worked with our zoning partners as well to establish areas throughout the city that's appropriate for our food trucks to stand. So all of that information is on our website.
Where can I find Miss Anna Nelson to get that list? In room 800 at City Hall?
That's right. You can go to the front counter and just let the reception know that you're here to see me. Or I just threw my email into the chat box. You can email me there as well, or come visit me in person. Right now, I'm only at City Hall on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But you're more than welcome to email me first just to make sure I'll be there for you.
I've seen grills attached to the back of MFVs. Is this permitted?
As I mentioned before, this would not be permitted. Anyone who is doing that is doing so against our mobile food license rules.
Is it the same application for an unmotorized mobile food trailer as it is for a drivable food truck?
Again, we do not license food trailers. So we do not have a license application for a food trailer.
Right, and to clarify, it is illegal to vend food from a food trailer. So not only do we not license it, it's not permitted to do in the city of Chicago. So there is no application for trailers because it's not allowed.
Do you have a list of locations that allow us to dispose of wastewater?
I can provide that.
Yeah,
there isn't like a formal list because they're not licensed separately, but if you contact me, we can definitely discuss it.
Okay, I'm going back to the Q&A box just to see if I missed anything. More, thank you for the information. Ladies, I think that is it. There's no more questions in the Q&A box or the chat box. Any final thoughts? Words of encouragement?
Well, you know, one of the things that this license code was initiated in 2012 after a ton of research, as well as working together with departments. And so I would encourage anyone, if you're interested, please move forward. Yes, someone said, oh, this is really intense. This is a lot of work. Well, yes, it is, because it's a restaurant on wheels. But I can assure you it is one of the best processes in terms of the support that you receive from myself, from Ms. Nelson and others. And we want to see as many of you out there, living your dream, preparing food for people that that we all are waiting for. So it is my hope that you will come in, see us, and really get out there and operate your truck. And one of the things also, as you see, the trucks that are out there, support them, because you know what they've gone through in order to be on the street. So we're very proud of our record in that. And someone asked if they could tow a portable potty. No.
I'll jump on board. I definitely want to encourage you to get involved with the food truck licensing process. I know it's a lot of paperwork and it seems very overwhelming to come in for that first time or even hear this presentation and just hear all the different things that apply to you and all the stuff you have to read to get through. But my goal to work with you for your food truck license is to give you a lot of direction, a lot of detailed feedback on the documents you're providing me so that you know exactly what I'm looking for, or if you have questions on what the document needs to do. I am more than happy to meet with you or discuss what we're really looking for. So through the process, you can expect a lot of feedback from me, a lot of kind of to-do lists that I give you that help you understand, what's remaining for your application or where you stand pretty much at any time you need an update.
What if, okay, some questions, more questions are coming in. What if we bought our vehicle from someone and unknown to us, we don't know who installed the fire suppression system? So what would be our next steps?
If they're not able to provide you with the existing paperwork for the suppression system, you'd have to find another company to, provide you paperwork or to inspect it and provide something written for you. I think the point for that is that for the fire suppression system, qualified people are designing these systems because it is a ventilation system and suppression system. So the idea is that a licensed professional is involved with disclosing how the system works.
Is the allergy certificate required?
I don't know if I understand. Is a what certificate?
I think that's more for health. Yeah, the allergy certificate is not required for mobile food. That is only required for restaurants at this time, so not a mobile food. For example, I would not ask for that during your license application.
Anna, they're asking for your email again.
Sure, I'll retype it now. And then just a general comment too, along with the application process, I do encourage you to be patient with the process. It is a lot of paperwork to collect and turn in. It's definitely achievable to get through the process, but it is not a very quick process. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of kind of the time it's going to take to invest in the process to make sure everything's thoroughly vetted.
Thank you, Anna, for actually bringing that up, because we get it so often. Well, how long does this take? So much depends on how quickly you provide Anna and myself with the information that is required. So the average, Anna, correct me, but I would say the average, and this is someone who is just really providing us with all of the information that we need, we could possibly get you going anywhere between 4 to 8 months. Sometimes a little sooner, but around that's a pretty fair, I think, window.
Yeah, it does seem like most people take several weeks or more to get through the process and get everything lined up. That's not to say that it has to take that long. But also just a reminder that we do take applications kind of in the order they're received. And there are some time constraints in terms of, you know, getting to your application to review it too. But yeah, it will take a matter of weeks for most folks to get through the process. So just prepare for that. Like I said, we'll give you all the feedback you need to continue getting this paperwork turned into us. But there's really, it's not a very quick license.
Let's make sure we don't have any more questions. Nope, that's it, ladies. I would like to say thank you for today's presentation. I hope everyone who attended today got the information that you were looking for. This webinar will be posted to the Chicago BACP YouTube page by the end of the week so that you can review this webinar over and over again along with some of our other webinars. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program and would like to receive credit for today's webinar, please send us an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. Again, that email is bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. And to learn more about our upcoming webinars, please visit chicago.gov/business education. Thank you, and everyone go out and have a great day.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you all for joining.